gentlemen, welcome to the Whovians podcast for tonight, and this is Dr. Freedom, your host. A lot of interesting things going on in the world of Doctor Who today. Now, this is a whole new lineup, so I'm going to go around, point you out, and I want you, give your name, a brief description, like how long you've been watching Doctor Who, and, that way we can get a little background on you. Let's start off with Doctorwhoman.
My name's Doctorwhoman. My name's Morris, but everybody calls me Mo. And I've been a Doctor Who fan for 40 years now. Since 1970, well, 39 years, 74.
Okay, Ross?
My name's Ross. I've been a Doctor Who fan since 2005 when rerun happened. I got involved in it in 2010.
And lastly, we have Graham.
Name self-explanatory, guys. It's Graham. Been a Whovian since the early 80s, although my interest was peaked via the Pertwee era, 70 to 74.
Okay, so while I was originally going to call this the Mr. Smith Goes to Hollywood podcast, but it seems what we found out that the movie that Matt Smith is doing will not start filming until May, so that leaves him wide open, to do the 50th anniversary or whatnot. Now, first question, I know I've asked it before, but given the fact that we've seen all these developments, on the wire, literally, and as I just showed on my Facebook page, the poll came back for the Doctor Who anniversary poll, and only 8% are satisfied with a 60-minute special. So let's go around and ask, what you think you'd like to see on the 50th anniversary, and we'll go person by person. Let's start with you, Mo.
Well, what ideally, or what I would like to see is basically a three sort of a day or week episode sort of thing to sort of like give each of the 11 Doctors, an episode sort of thing, whether they use CGI for the ones that have passed away or not, to introduce the rest of the surviving Doctors, give them a special episode rather, or even the ones that are no longer with us, just a brief caption, and to do it like that. But obviously they're not going to do it like that, but never mind.
Okay, you, Ross.
I would love for them to do what they did with Torchwood, Children of Earth, another daily episode, or I'll settle down with a 90-minute film.
Yeah.
I'll be happy with that, I would.
That's what I meant, a daily episode, That's what I meant, a daily episode of each of the Doctors sort of thing. If you know what I mean, a discovery sort of thing. But there we go.
Okay, what about you, Graham? What would you like to see?
I think the guys have pretty much covered some very good points. If we had our way, we would have something similar to, the Children of Earth series. I think it's just important that whatever we get, guys, that, the cap is tipped to the past, regardless of how they do it.
I know that was my big concern, was that we were only going to see, the new Who Doctors, and that, they were going to come up with some oblique explanation as to why, the old ones couldn't appear, like, they're trapped, behind the time lock or whatnot. Now, here's a question that not a lot of people have asked. We've been so busy worrying about who's going to be in it, but no one's really asked, who would you like to see for the villain, the face-off against, the multiple Doctors? Mo?
Sorry, Doc, was that me?
Oh, okay. I was going to start off with Mo first, but...
okay. Go on, I'll give it to you, Graham. Give me some time to think about it.
You called your name.
Okay. Who would I like to... To be honest with you, I'm sick of the Daleks. I am really sick of the Daleks.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, they've been overused since the series began. To be honest with you, who else would I like? The Cybermen have no character in the new series, if you know what I mean. They're just like complete robots. I don't know. I think, to be honest with you, the only one who could compete against the Doctors would be Omega, really.
Okay, what about you, Ross?
I completely agree with Doctorwhoman. I'd love to have Omega, but I think we could twist it around a little bit and have possibly the Doctor be the villain.
In what way?
Like, say, an older generation of him.
Back to the value of you.
All right, Graham.
Like an alternate Doctor. I'd like to see that. I'd like to also. I wouldn't mind if the Daleks did appear. I think it would make a slight hint for them being the greatest villain that the Doctor's ever had.
Yeah, I know. But don't you think they're overused completely? I mean, they've totally lost their, say, superiority, if you know what I mean. Their scariness, put it in other words.
I'll guarantee they will be in it, though. I can see it happening.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
especially,
the problem is, guys, they are
whoa.
obligated to contractually be used once a year.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, yeah. When you know that they've got contracts, so pretty obvious, but...
Yeah, unfortunately, we're enslaved to the Terry Nation estate due to the contract they signed where, the Daleks have to appear at least once a year. Okay, we never got a chance to ask Graham. Graham, who'd you like to see for the villain for the 50th anniversary?
The problem you've got is, guys, although Omega would be a good choice, it's been done. It was done on the 10th. And albeit you don't want to be repeating yourself, there's just so very few villains out there that would, have a grander scale impact for such a momentous celebration. Sorry, mate, you were saying?
No, come on, you finish first.
Yeah, and I've lost my trail of thought now.
Sorry.
I just basically, you can't really have a new villain because of the scale of the celebration, but at the same time, you don't want to be rehashing the same old things.
Yeah, I agree with you to a certain degree, but to be honest with you, there hasn't been a villain or a monster that can compare or that can challenge the Doctor. Not the Daleks, really. I mean, to be honest with you, the only one who can do it is the Master. But then again, I think the way they've done with the character of the Master now, he's not even a threat. He's
the only thing that ever came close, and to this day I don't think we even know the name of it, was the entity in Midnight, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. I do agree with you there.
You got anything to chime in, Ross?
Pardon? Say that again, please.
Yeah, anything to add to that, Ross?
Not really. What's your opinion? What do you want to see?
Well, like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing, Omega, but maybe with a new twist. You see, my original theory is that the Church of the Silence, given the fact that if you look at the arm insignias of the clerics, it is clearly the Greek letter Omega, and it's bisected by the Roman numeral 2. And that to me is always, I had a friend of mine, well, Omega's popped up how many times? I go, yes, but if he successfully crosses back into this universe, it'll be the second coming of Omega. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with
return.
What, Ross?
I would love to see Omega return.
I know, same here. Maybe with a little new twist added, because it was one of my theories that the Silence were going to turn out to be a race created by Omega as a servitor race, because it would fit in with his MO. So, okay, so here's another thing that sprang up also today, and as you noticed, everybody is finally getting replies from the BBC. Does anyone feel that this is, we're actually accomplishing anything now? Now that we're seeing them?
Sorry.
Oh, go on ahead, Mo.
Because you're getting replies, they're obviously listening. Because being in the UK, we are paying for this, believe it or not. So they're obviously listening. And I've got to tell you this as well. And honestly, I think it's down to money, because when Matt Smith started Doctor Who, do you remember the first of the credit crunch hit, and your David Tennants and your Christopher Ecclestons, they were on 500,000 a year, and I know Christopher Eccleston was on 500,000 for 13 episodes for the first series.
Well, I can see that.
Confirm, was it 13 episodes that Christopher Eccleston had done?
Yes.
Yeah, he was on 500,000 a year, and so was David Tennant. And when Matt Smith signed on, you know, he only signed on for 200,000. So I think that's why he's got one of the reasons why he's got itchy feet as well. But I'm glad they're listening. To go back to your first question, I'm glad they're listening to what seems to be the fans. But there we go. You know, I mean, I used to write to John Nathan Turner back in the 80s, complaining about complaining about you know, Doctor Who, and he wrote back to me a couple of times, but you know, he still did big mistakes then. But there we go. You never know; it could happen again.
Okay, now one good point that was brought up, and I see all of you have noticed it, but I'm going to ask your opinion anyway. One thing that I've noticed, and I've brought this up before in my vids, it seems to me like, you know, Stephen Moffat does not want to have an enemy who is on equal footing with the Doctor. And it was kind of a clincher when suddenly the Daleks can't remember him anymore. Now, who wants to chime in on that idea first?
Ross, Graham, do you want to go first, or shall I do it?
Yeah, Ross, you haven't said a whole lot. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I personally want to see an equal villain to the Doctor. I think it puts him into more power. I know the other arc with the Doctor not being remembered from the universe will play out through Series 7, and I think it will be answered during the 50th anniversary. I think that will be the whole question. Doctor Who will be answered then. I'm not too sure though, really, on the villain. As long as it's a decent villain for the 50th, I'll be happy.
Well,
go ahead, Mo.
Well, I sort of disagree with you, Brian. I think Stephen Moffat has put equal footing with Doc. Has Moffat done the Master with?
No.
Yeah, no. Sorry. So obviously he hasn't. So
yeah, that was RTD.
No. I think the only one who could get him to tell who the Doctor was would be the Master. I mean, because you remember in the Pertwee era, well, probably won't remember, but the Roger Delgado, before he died, he was supposed to be the Doctor Who's cousin or brother. I can't actually remember, but you know.
What did you in a Peter Davidson episode as well? Was it in Planet of Fire? They dubbed it out.
No, what happened was it was originally in the script, but it was never shot. But as the Master was, as the Master was consumed in the flames, he was supposed to say, "How can you do this to your own brother?" And they decided not to. Also, in the '96 movie, they were going to introduce that and say that the Doctor and his brother, the Master, were the last living descendants of Rassilon. But they decided, since the series didn't happen. And I hate to say it, but thank God, because Americanized Doctor Who was not going to work. Especially if you saw some of the scripts for it. Oh my goodness.
Really?
It was going to be terrible. It was going to be as bad as the American...
on the DVD release for the special edition for the movie. My God, it sounded bad.
It did.
Do you know what? I'm probably the only one that was looking forward to it then. Sorry.
Well, I was too, but then after I read what was going to come after, plus the fact it seemed to me like whoever wrote it kind of like had the cliff notes of Doctor Who. Like, for one, the Eye of Harmony was never in the center of the TARDIS. The Eye of Harmony was under the Panopticon on Gallifrey. So I don't know how it wound up there.
Maybe off air, Brian, you can fill me in, because I would love to know.
Yeah, but apparently we are going to see the Eye of Harmony again, though, and it is going to be in the center of the TARDIS. They've pretty much confirm that from the reports I've read on the Journey to the Center of the TARDIS episode coming up.
Whoa, hang on. They were supposed to scrap all that. That was supposed to be all hogwash, all the iron harmony and that.
No, it wasn't. I've never heard about it being scrapped. Ross, have you heard anything different?
Yeah,
no, it's definitely in.
To be honest, guys, this is the first I've heard about the Eye of Harmony point blank, so news to me.
Because it's nothing to do with it was nothing to do with Doctor anyway. You know, being half human and the Eye of Harmony and that. But
whoa! I gotta beg to differ on you that because Russell T Davies was holding the '96 movie as canon.
What a shame.
Yeah, you've got human nature and the family of blood. Yeah, there you go.
Matter of fact, if you want to hear an updated thing that might tie into it, remember when the Doctor was being scanned by the Silurian Doctor in, I believe it was either Cold Blood or the Hungry Earth, he said, if you kill these organisms, those are half the things that are keeping me alive.
Fair dues, Brian.
Yeah, because he was going to sterilize him, put him through a decontamination. And he said, if you do that, you're going to kill half the things that are keeping me alive.
That would have been the second part of that story, Brian. If you recall, it was at the end they found the city, the civilizations. That would have been the second episode.
Okay. Yeah, that would have been Cold Blood then.
Yeah, it would have been Hungry Earth. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's one thing nobody's brought up. And I'd like to, especially since we got a younger viewer here, I'd like to hear his opinion as well. If they were able to bring back any companions from, and I'm talking new, old, whatever, which ones would you guys like to see? Let's start off with Mo.
Jamie McCrimmon.
Good old Freda.
Jamie McCrimmon.
That'll do, yep.
Yeah, a hungerman. Now, I am telling you, yeah. Nicholas Courtney, God rest his soul, he died, but...
Yep.
Okay, Ross, how about you?
I personally love to see Susan back.
I know. Oh, yes.
Have the granddaughter back to the 50th. I'd like to see a return of possibly Donna, if it would work. Donna's my favourite companion since New Who.
Who? The New Who? Sorry, I didn't catch that. Sorry.
I'd like to see Donna back.
Oh, Donna Noble. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Jenna back, which most likely will be. I'd
Who
love to
back?
see
Who back?
her as a companion.
Oh, right. Okay.
What about you, Graham? Who'd you like to see back?
Well, Brian, I was actually alluded to on our podcast from the other day with the rest of the guys. Only one choice, really. Nicola Bryant, Perry Brown.
Oh, yes.
Really?
No closure there, you see.
Are you sure?
Now,
but she died, didn't she die?
No. I can see his reasoning. You see, Nicola Bryant, all right, now what happened in Perry's case, this was one of the most badly handled companion departures of the entire show's history. Because first they said she died, but it turns out that was a fake memory put in the Matrix. And she went off with the guy played by Brian Blessed and became some warrior queen on some planet. And
never to be heard from again.
Yeah. Hey, she's not, well, she is doing some minor things here and there. She's doing Big Finish, but I could see her doing it if they asked her.
Oh, yeah, I could see any of the classic assistants doing it if they asked them. I'd probably be glad to work.
In the grand scheme of this, guys, we shouldn't forget that it's just a damn shame that Liz Sladen isn't among us anymore, because she would have been a deadlock to be in the damn thing.
Yeah, Elizabeth Sladen. But at least she had her own TV show. You can't say she didn't have a crack, you know. But the reason why I say Fraser Hines is because also I thought when he was acting with Patrick Troughton, I thought they gelled well together. And I thought it was Patrick that made him, you know, bring out his acting more. Until I saw him with the two doctors. And he gave the same perfect performance with Colin Baker as he did with Patrick Troughton. So I think he would actually gel well with Matt Smith and your David Tennants as well. You know.
Mo, are you implying that the two doctors was Colin Baker's best story? Television-wise.
To be honest with you, I think the Daleks one, you know, the Dalek one, that's his best story, to be honest.
Is that Remembrance? No.
Is it Remembrance?
Revelation.
How was that, Brian? Quick. My brain's not.
You mean the wait a minute.
Pick a Dalek episode.
No, the Colin Baker one, you know.
Oh, Colin Baker. That was Revelation.
Is it Revelation?
Yeah, because Remembrance was the 7th Doctor.
Sylvester McCoy's.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Must have been Revelation. Yeah.
Yeah. But to be honest with you, the 2 Doctors were great when Patrick Troughton was in it, and what's his name? Is it Stike? Oh, you know, who was the Hungry Man, the Androgen.
Oh
yeah, the butcher chef type thing. Yeah, his name is.
Yeah, fantastic actor, fantastic. Him and Patrick Troughton was brilliant. But you know, but there we go. But that's my opinion on that.
Anyway, Brian, apologies, we're going off topic here.
Go on ahead. Go on ahead.
Sorry, Brian.
Okay, no, we're doing just fine, actually. You know, this is kind of meant to be like a round table where we bounce ideas off each other and, you know, get feedback from one another.
Yeah.
Now, since it's been brought up, and I know I've brought it up before, but this is except for Graham here, this is a pretty new round table. What are your thoughts, if the Doctor is half human? Let's start off with Mo.
To be honest, I mean, it wouldn't make a difference. So what? He's got a human side. So what? I mean, it wouldn't make any difference to the story. I mean, to be honest, it's not quite original, is it, really? It's like Mr. Spock, he's half human. But then again, it didn't make a difference because he still didn't have a heart, did he? So, I mean, it's quite stupid, really. I mean, it's the same with the only thing that I'm really upset with Russell T Davies about is when he made the Doctor human so he can be Billy Piper's boyfriend or whatever. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. What are you talking about? No.
What about you, Ross? You've been quiet throughout this. What would you think if it turned out the Doctor was half human?
I'm still happy with it. I'm 100% behind it. Really being half human, I've got no issue with him at all. I think he puts a side of character that we can connect with a lot more.
I can see that. Graham?
Fine with that.
I wouldn't really have a problem with it, Brian. I mean, it would answer quite a few questions in my book. For instance, his affinity obviously with the Earth and always, watching over them and whatnot.
Yeah, I brought that up before. It would explain why he suddenly chose Earth of all places to hide the hand of Omega as well as hide his own granddaughter. And,
yes.
That is an interesting thought. Susan Foreman, wouldn't it be nice, to finally, have that whole arc resolved after 50 years? Given the fact they kind of just let it drop and nobody's ever picked it back up, except for.
But you know as well as I do, Brian, that's never going to happen. So.
Wasn't Susan inside the 5 Doctors? It was never
but as just a story.
Remember at the end of that, no one remembered a damn thing. So
Yeah, I mean, and also they didn't let her divulge what she'd been doing for the last 20 years. So,
I know, they kind of let that drop because you notice, Liz Sladen, when she was reunited with the Doctor, had no memory of those events. But they kind of explain that off in Big Finish. Now, how many of you here listen to Big Finish? Mo?
I used to listen to it a few times, but it to be honest with you, it became down to finance, to be honest with you. It came too expensive, to be honest with you. But I have listened to a few of them, especially the Colin Baker ones, which are better than when he was on the television, to be honest with you.
That's why, in my opinion, anybody who doesn't listen to the audios bloody well should, because if you listen to Colin Baker's Big Finish stories, you'll get a clear vision and indication, in my opinion, where his Doctor could have went.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, I mean, today, it's 2013. The kids nowadays will never listen to an audio drama. I mean, they'll tell, if you give a 10-year-old an audio drama to listen, they'll probably chuck it in your face and say, give me something to watch instead,
Fair comment.
But, I mean.
Disagree with that.
Hang on, let's go ahead, Ross.
Sorry, Ross. I didn't mean that as a dig at you, though.
Ross?
No. I just mean like a few people who actually do listen to the audio dramas and stuff.
What are the
age ranges? I listen to a few. Personally, I've only listened to some of the Dalek ones, which put across why Scarro survived.
Sorry, Ross, but what are the age ranges that listen to these things, to the CDs? What are the age ranges that you know? Are they your age?
my cousin's 10. He listens to them.
Oh, great.
Also, my mates still listen to him now when we're in uni and also doing part-time work.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, that is great to hear.
Yep, definitely.
You know,
same with the books as well. People are always reading the books.
Oh, fantastic. Can I ask, what do you think of the person who's playing the first Doctor? What's his name? Is it Graham?
David
Bradley.
David Bradley. What do you think of him playing the first Doctor?
Okay, my own opinion, it was a perfect choice. Here's a guy who's an incredible actor. You know, we all got to know him as Argus Filch in the Harry Potter movies, but he was also in Captain America.
He was pretty famous in Britain for sitcoms and stuff like that.
But also, what a lot of people may not have heard, I don't know if you did, but when the original trailer for Series 7 came out and they showed the little tidbits of him as Solomon, the first reaction I got from everybody in my messages was, oh my God, that's the first Doctor, because of the way he had his hair and the outfit he was wearing.
Yeah.
And I had to calm everybody down. I'm like, okay, so why does the first Doctor have these mean-looking things on his arms and 2 hulking combat robots behind him? So,
unfortunately, I didn't twig that, but well done for everyone who did twig that. You know. Unfortunately, I didn't notice, but yeah. But the reason why I mentioned that, there's a little twist. Say, for instance, they were doing a docudrama about the second Doctor. Who do you reckon who could play Patrick Troughton?
Well, I say his son.
Good
Dave
Troughton. Good choice.
His son looks exactly like him.
But he's too tall. He's massive.
That would probably be the only hindrance, the height.
Even Michael Troughton, he'd have to lose a lot of weight.
I know. The scary part, though, is how much he looks like his father in the face.
Yeah.
Because
what are your guys' points of view on Sean Pertwee perhaps taking over the role from his father?
Any thoughts on that?
Do you know what? Sorry, Brian.
I said, any thoughts on that? Sean Pertwee?
Yeah, well, do you know what? He came to do a signing, and I asked him for like, would you ever do your own Doctor Who? He goes, if I was asked, I'd probably contemplate it, but I don't know whether he would do if he was seriously asked.
Ross, what do you think?
To play John Petrie?
Yeah.
I'd say his son again. I think his son looks exactly like him.
You mean John
Sean Pertwee more.
Yeah. No.
Take over his dad. Recast the third Doctor with his boy. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I asked him about would he like to play Doctor Who as a different character. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. Yeah. Do you know what? I don't think he'd do it. He'd do it. No.
Not even as a one-off.
I don't think he'd do it. He's too much of a serious actor to do that.
I know it does a lot of, army type things and whatnot, you're probably right.
Gangster films.
Yeah.
But as a Doctor Who character himself, because, I did ask him that when I met him when he did a signing. He said he'd complicate, he would think about doing a Doctor Who as a, different character, but I didn't ask him about it. I should have asked him that, actually, but he probably gets asked that all the time. But, no, as regards to that question, I don't think he'd do it.
But John Pertwee, he was one wily guy. Here's a guy who did all his own stunts. He's pretty much responsible for having the Whomobile. He pretty much paid to have it made.
Are you sure? Was it the Whomobile or was it Bessie?
I think both actually, because I remember him talking about having the Whomobile made. What was it, Ross?
He had that hovercraft, didn't he?
Yeah, the Whomobile. Yeah.
And he gave that to a private owner who, when last convention he attended, he said the guy had been keeping it in mint shape, so it's somewhere and it's put away and it's still in one piece.
It wasn't an exhibition.
Oh, I'm sure Bessie. Yeah, I'm sure Bessie's intact somewhere. Hang on, I didn't mean to talk over you, Ross. What was that?
There was an exhibition in Blackpool in England where they had Bessie on show. I'll try to find the image I've got of it.
I was at Longley in 1983 and it was packed.
Yes.
That was fantastic. It was fantastic. You know, meeting Patrick Troughton and, you know, hello, how are you? Next, you know. But it was great. It was great. Great.
Talking about conventions, the Doctor Who will also be at Comic Con this year.
Yeah, at the Collectomania Olympia in London, where
Yeah, they got that too, yeah.
confirmed so far is Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy. Sylvester McCoy. But do you know what? I've got to say, all the digs that I've been giving Colin, he does know a lot about, and he cares a lot about Doctor Who. I've got to give him that. Out of all the actors that have played Doctor that I've met, he does know a lot of Doctor Who.
I think he was the one who definitely got shortchanged. You know, definitely got the short end of the stick.
Well, to be honest with you, well, it's not shortchanged, to be honest with you. He got, first of all, the character that he played was too hard. Was, you know, too hard, too tough. You know, and also very bad scripts commissioned by Nathan Turner.
The less said about time loss, the better. I mean, it was written by a frickin' ambulance driver, for God's sake.
And to be honest with you, that's one. I mean, to be cast by Bonnie Langford, awful.
Oh, wow.
Awful.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's brilliant, girl. Brilliant.
Brian, didn't I just tell you she was absolutely loathed in the 70s?
Oh.
If you grew up in the 70s and watched Bonnie Langford, you remember that grey minute.
Oh, I'll scream and scream. She never stopped screaming, I'll tell you.
Who could she be compared to? Is it Lindsay Lohan in America?
Just about.
You're catching on, Brian.
Or who is it? Who's the Olsen? Is it the Olsen twins or the Olsen twins?
The Olsen twins.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, can you imagine that in the 70s and being cast in Doctor Who? You know.
Scary part is there's footage of her out there somewhere of her as a child singing in the Bugsy Malone movie that was over here.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Can you imagine watching that every Saturday on Opportunity Knots, wasn't it? Wasn't it, Graham?
I believe it was. And I can't remember if it was Bob Monkhouse or Paul Daniels, but whoever it was, it never made her disappear, I'll tell you.
And Just William as well. Awful. Just awful.
Just William, yep.
I mean, Brian says she's brilliant in the Big Finish. But
I'll give her a two. They have refined the character a lot in the audios.
Yes.
You know, but, you know, when someone has to speak and no scream, anything's going to be better than that, you know.
And also, there's probably an advantage you don't see her face, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, well.
See, that's why we want Perry back. She still looks really good.
For herself, I've seen a couple of tweets and whatnot,
Well,
you know. So.
Do you know what? I met her a couple of times. She's not very nice to meet. I have to say that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I hate to go on record and say this, but every time I've even tried to engage her in a conversation on Twitter, it's like you don't exist.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what she's like face to face.
No, well.
Trust me.
So
Seriously.
say, never meet your heroes, you know, and set yourself up for a fall.
She's like William Shatner, but that's another story. But you know.
You had some bad experiences with old Bill there, Molly.
Brian knows what I'm talking about. But,
Yeah, okay.
We'll save that for a Trekkie moment, I suppose.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping maybe we get a mention of companions, you know, that didn't get a proper resolution in the 50th. You know, such as Perry. Now, let me give you a couple other examples before we move on. There was Leela, who was on Gallifrey. Now, did she get off? And then there's the other big question.
She got off with the...
Careful, Ross.
Yeah, we're trying to keep this PG-13.
Yeah.
But did she get off of Gallifrey is what I mean, you know, before it all went down. But the other one I wanted to bring up is Romana.
Yes.
E-Space, was
I
it
was going
not?
to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She was taken to E-Space.
Exactly. Shouldn't Romana have survived, given she was in another universe at the time?
But we don't know if she went back or not. That's the thing. During the time war.
Yeah, we don't know whether,
It could have been a case of all Time Lords and Time Ladies call to arms, you know?
Very true.
Do you know, I want to know, right?
Go ahead, Mo.
Do Did William Hart did no, the first Doctor ever get married? I want to know where Susan came from. That's what I want to know.
Okay, we do know the Doctor had a family. They pretty much confirmed that in the Doctor's daughter.
Oh, they did confirm it. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Donna asked him.
Yeah,
passing dialogue between Tennant and Tate, basically.
Oh, yeah. When he said I was grandfather once. Yeah, I think
He said he's been a dad before.
Yeah.
Oh.
In the Doctor's daughter, and then Donna's like kind of trying to get out of him, but he doesn't really finish it off.
Okay.
Matter of fact, flashing back before that, even in Fear Her, probably the only good part of Fear Her was when he's sitting there talking with Rose, and Rose said something, and then he just went offline. I was a dad once, and and there's Rose has that double take moment, and they just left it. So yes, he did have a family at one time on Gallifrey, and he talked about how he didn't want to get too attached again, because of the hole it left and the pain that filled it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And obviously you have that scene with Patrick Troughton when he gets asked, can you obviously remember the family?
Yeah,
He proclaims that they sleep dormant within his mind,
Do you know what? I do believe, I remember hearing from the commentary from Deborah Watling that it was up for a BAFTA, that scene, I suppose. That's what I heard in the commentary. I'm not too sure, don't quote me on it. I'm not too sure, because I don't think even BAFTA were about in them days.
What would that been? 67,
60,
roughly.
Yeah, but, that's...
Probably right.
Yeah, but that
might
was...
have been around by early stages.
Sorry?
He might have been around, BAFTA might have been around about then.
Yeah,
but at the early stages, so...
If it was, it probably would have been the early first couple of years anyway.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, that's one of the most touching scenes I've ever seen. That and the end of the War Games, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Where he says farewell to Zoe, and he kisses Zoe on the forehead, believe it or not.
Ah. Okay, now another big question I'm going to toss out to you. Now, I know we're all agreed, we wouldn't mind seeing the Master come back, but what about a reappearance of the Ronnie? We'll start off with Mo.
The Ronnie, yeah, if she was done better.
Ross?
I've always wanted the Ronnie to come back, and I've always wanted Sigourney Weaver to play her. I think she'll make a really good Ronnie.
Yeah, it's a question of money. Question of money.
Graham?
Mo, can I just pick you up on the point there, my friend? If she was done better, I hope that wasn't a reference to Dimensions in Time. Because we don't acknowledge that special's existence in this household.
I know, because I was one of them guys who got burned, because back when Matt Smith took over the reins, there were a bunch of articles running around screaming that Gillian Anderson had signed to play the Ronnie, and that the Ronnie would be the villain of the end of the season. And that's one of the reasons I'm so damn careful about, what I check and double check, because I got really burned on that one.
Yeah, exactly. And there's another thing that I've read, but I was going to ask you about that, Brian, but we won't go into that just yet.
Oh, okay. Well, can you, if you want, go ahead.
Well, I heard. This is what I read about Waris Hussein, that he was scheduled to direct the 50th anniversary. No, have you heard that? I've read that.
No, I haven't heard a thing about it, to be honest.
Right. Okay, so it's probably rubbish then. I mean, I have read that, but it's probably rubbish.
I'll have to dig around, but I have not heard a thing about it.
Yeah.
I know they just confirmed on one of the pages that William Russell will be making a cameo appearance in the docudrama.
Oh, fantastic! 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 Do you know what? I watched the original Richard Donner Superman movie. Do you know he's in it?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Is that the one from the 50s, Mo?
No, the 78 version.
Oh, Christopher Reeve, is that it?
Yeah, right. He's one of the
He's one of the judges at the beginning.
Ah, okay. Right.
Yeah, the big faces you see when Zod's being tried. Yes, one of them's William Russell.
Fair enough.
Do you know what? I've watched it in the cinema and I've watched it 6 billion times.
I
And
know. Yeah,
yesterday, I've just realised it was him.
I know. Now that they've mentioned it, it's like, damn, how could I have missed this?
What an idiot. But there we go.
Now-
Usually good at these things, but there we go.
Oh, but yeah, a lot of interesting things going on in the Big Finish audio. As a matter of fact, they just wrapped up recording on their version of the 50th anniversary, which is going to involve Doctors 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But now it's going into post-production. Matter of fact, tweet I got the other day, Paul McGann had tweeted out that him, Tom Baker, and Louise Jameson were in the studio for the final day. And I was like, and Louise Jameson, she's a sweetheart. I'm not kidding.
Yeah,
She
is.
You know that from your desktop, Brian.
I know. Well, I've been.
No, but she is.
Yeah, I'm not
She's
kidding.
generally a sweetheart.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I tweet back and forth with her on and off. She's a sweetheart, and that's going to be an amazing combination right there, having Doctors 4 and 8 in one room. Oh.
Yeah. Do you know, Brian? Who are doing the voices of Patrick Trout and John Pertwee? I know that there's a young bloke does a voice of the first Doctor, William Hartnell, and he sounds very eerily like him.
Yeah.
But, I can't remember his name. But
they've been using him for a bunch of the recordings, and I can't remember his name either. But it's uncanny.
But he's absolutely fantastic.
He sounds exactly like William Hartnell. It's scary.
Is he the fellow that's been doing the recordings with regards to William Hartnell's version of the Companion Chronicles?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Because you know the Planet of the Giants DVD.
Yeah.
There's an extra. There's an extra of the recording of the Companions with William Russell, Carol Anford, and the young. Well, I say young. He's about 50 odd, I think. Doing the William Hartnell, and he's brilliant. He is fantastic. Everybody says.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'll have to try and look that up. Check it out. I
Yeah,
don't have the DVD at present.
It's on the DVD of the Planet of
Okay.
Giants. Not the Land of the Planet of Giants. But yeah, it's in the extras.
Good stuff.
I'll check that out.
Okay, now that I got a couple of, really, especially, someone who's been watching the show almost 40 years, especially, given
Don't
my
rub it
perspective.
in, Brian. Don't rub it in. I feel old.
But still, here's one I've been wanting to ask somebody who's also old school, but, not one of the regular group. What did you feel about the episode The Doctor's Wife?
To be honest with you, Doctor's Wife?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Come on, Mo.
Start, man. I was so looking forward to something really special. When I realised it was the TARDIS. Oh, my God. This is what I don't like about modern Doctor Who. Can I just say that? This is a rant now. This is what I don't like about modern Doctor Who.
Sure, go on ahead. Open forum. Go ahead.
First of all, and this is going out to Russell T Davis as well. Don't think you're a genius because you brought it back. Yeah. First of all, you don't make the 10th Doctor human, so Rose could have a boyfriend. If so, why couldn't the rest of the companions have? Because he felt the same love as them. And second of all, you don't make the TARDIS human as a woman. What's all that about? What a load of old... I shan't swear. But, no.
Well, can I just ask?
Go ahead, Graham.
Before the episode aired, what were you envisioning the episode to be about in your own mind?
Well, to sort of resolve the Susan sort of like situation, really, about the family and...
Oh, you mean like a total revert back to the backstory type thing?
Yeah, sort of thing, like a flashes. Do you understand what I'm saying? It would have been a better story. It would have been a better story, but...
It would have been a better story, Mo, but it would have been totally out of place.
In what way?
In terms of continuity, I can understand why you'd want to see that resolved, but I just don't know if that would have fit it in.
No, in
very well.
flashbacks. Do you understand? You know what I mean? No, to play a young first Doctor to thingy and that, and then finding her, say for instance, as an old lady and then dying, whatever. I'm not a script writer, so someone could pen that. You know what I mean? I mean, what do you think, Brian?
Well, me, I got to be honest with you. I thought it was innovative. You know, for once instead of the TARDIS just being there, the TARDIS actually became an interactive companion, and also we had a few questions answered about exactly how long the Doctor and the TARDIS have been together. Plus, I really love the banter between them. I think Sharon Jones did a fantastic job. Especially with such an iconic piece of the show's history. You were going to say something, Ross?
I just completely agree with you. I agree.
Graham?
All agree with that.
Yeah, I must admit, Brian, I did enjoy the dialogue throughout that episode.
Yeah.
I know,
Have you
especially.
guys ever seen the opening? The original opening?
The original opening, I can't remember that far back.
The original what? Sorry, Ross?
The original opening for the Doctor's wife.
Was that the thing that they couldn't do because of budget constraints?
Yeah, it was supposed to start halfway
I've not seen that. No, I've heard about it, but I've not seen it.
Okay, what was that about, Ross?
I think, if I can remember rightly, the Doctor, Amy, and Rory are on a planet. Again, attacked by these alien creatures that were supposed to be the villains before the Ood were involved.
Okay.
Because the Ood wasn't planned into the script at all, and they got into TARDIS to escape these creatures, and then that's how the whole story happened. Crashing onto the planet in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then again, you say you like the banter between the action. I mean, I agree with you with the banter and that, but they could have made that literally as the Doctor's wife, not as the TARDIS. I mean, I'm talking about the subject matter is silly. I mean, I know Russell T Davies says you can get away with anything in science fiction, but not anything it becomes really silly. I mean, that's what I'm getting at.
Okay, I can see your point, at the same time. But like I said, I really loved that episode. I thought they did a fantastic job with it. Alrighty.
Each to their own, right?
Well, now that brings us to another big question, especially now that I've got a good collection, good age range here. Captain
I probably
Jack.
won't agree with that, but there we go. sorry, Brian. Sorry.
I got I've got old Who and new Who covered here, and we've also got in between.
Who's in between? I want to know.
I think Graham's seen a bit of both.
I think that'd be me.
All right.
Now that's the big question. Captain Jack Harkness, what are your thoughts on him coming back?
I really don't want to see him back yet.
Not really.
Not yet.
Not really.
No,
Not really.
no Mo?
Nah.
And Ross, you want him back, but not right now?
I'd like to see him back, but not right now. I think we still got the dark cloud that was Torchwood over him at the moment. We let that go past and bring him back into it.
Sorry, Ross. Why'd you call it a dark cloud?
Miracle Day, basically.
All right. Okay.
I did not like Miracle Day at all. I lost interest in it.
Nobody else did either.
That's why it was canned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brian, please don't ask me about Torchwood.
Yeah. Well, Torchwood had its good points. When it was the first and second season, it was rocky. Children of Earth, I guarantee you'd love Children of Earth. But then they did Miracle Day, and it was just.
I mean, I saw one episode, and I thought, oh, well, sit down on it, and I don't know, it got a little bit, and sorry again, I feel so old. It got a little bit too adult. It got a little bit too adult.
Well, that was the point of the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, hold on. All right, let me explain, Mo. No. Torchwood was always meant to be a more adult version of Doctor Who. It was a totally separate thing. It was supposed to be darker and more adult and more towards the adult crowd.
Yeah. No, but I thought I meant darker as in Dark Knight Returns. I thought that, in that sort of, dark vein, not darker as in erotica, if you know what I mean.
Well,
it was probably a happy medium between both, Mo, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Captain Jack a lot better on Torchwood because they really showed his dark side.
Yeah.
I agree with that, Brian.
But then again, I can't comment because I only saw one episode, so sorry.
Ross, do you have something?
like you said, I prefer the dark side to Jack in Torchwood, especially in Children of the Earth. Because you know all that went on with his grandson, I think it was.
Yeah.
And what he had to sacrifice for that. But I don't know, because his character's very different between both shows. He's very kind of friendly and upbeat, really camp in Doctor Who. In Torchwood, he's very, like you said, he's very dark and very structured character.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily a bad thing if you want to expand the horizons of a character.
Oh, no,
I think
yeah.
it's quite good that he can flip in and out of both, you know.
Yeah. Is he supposed to be the face of both?
Apparently.
So, yeah.
It's not officially confirmed that he is. It's just like it was stated that they called him though.
It's open to interpretation, that.
Yeah, they alluded heavily towards it.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. I would like to see that expanded. You know, but I suppose it's not too late. I suppose. Do you know what? I bet you we're going to get something like that in the 50th. How we turned into the face of Bo, and you know.
Well, to be
Probably
honest,
the
he hasn't
Probably
even
the Doctor's
called.
fault why I ended up with one head or something. I don't know. Just a head or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, as far as I know, none of the companions have been called back.
No.
No, and that doesn't surprise me, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Again, coming back to what you alluded to in your videos, Brian, you know, what type of time span are we going to get, and then how do you cram everybody in?
Okay, all I know is, as of the fourth draft of the script, it was sitting at 83 minutes, and then apparently they're past draft 6, and
Yes.
they've actually added pages, which means they're building this thing up to more than likely either be a feature-length presentation or possibly 2 one-hour episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so glad to hear that from you, by the way. But,
It's come up to 87 pages so far.
Up to
Yeah.
87?
That's what I've heard.
So,
87 pages so far.
47?
87.
87, okay.
87.
I don't want to
Well-
put kibosh on it, guys, but what don't hold your breath, because scripts
Yeah.
can change and cuts can happen and things like that. So, you know, scripts can change, as we all know. So,
Well,
I
based
think that the
on...
docudrama itself was on
Sorry, Ross.
11 drafts.
hang on, hold it. You guys almost talked to. What was that, Ross?
sorry.
The docudrama that they're doing, I think that went to 11 drafts before they started shooting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've got plenty more drafts to go through yet.
Yeah.
before they get finalized.
But I'm just hoping they
Yeah.
leave that opening scene in that I was described. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, I'll be interested to see how that fits in, Brian.
But
Alright.
do you know what? Do you know what, Brian? I wouldn't worry about the docudrama taking over the limelight of the 50th anniversary. I think that's just part of it. I think because about in 2010 we've got. Have you ever heard of a soap opera called Coronation Street?
Oh yes.
Well, they had a drama about that.
Yeah, I remember seeing that, Mo.
In 1960, and the BBC did it. To be honest with you, they went back for the celebrations of that, and it was really good. And so I think it's going to be
Similar to
aimed
that.
at that, you know, aimed at that. But
Yeah.
you know, so
And-
I wouldn't concern yourself too much on the docudrama to it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually looking forward to it. I've always been looking forward to it. It's just what the impression I was getting there for a while was, okay, maybe they've sacrificed something to get it done, but now from what I'm hearing, maybe not.
No. I think to be honest with you, ever since that, because Coronation Street and Doctor Who are the longest British TV shows in the world, to be honest with you. So when they started to do that with Coronation Street in 2010 to celebrate their 50 years, it didn't surprise me if they did when they announced it they were going to do that for Doctor Who. So I wouldn't be too concerned. I don't think it will damage the 50th anniversary at all. In fact, I think it will enhance it.
Yeah.
I think you'll get a lot more younger people looking for Hartnell DVDs than, talking about, David Tennant and Matt Smith all the time.
Okay, now the big question. The question that must never be asked.
Well,
Okay, we'll start off with Mo on the answer for
Who
this
watched
one.
who?
why'd you always pick on me?
Because I'm going in order. You see, I'm
Oh,
giving
right,
everybody a
sorry.
fair shake. And
Oh, sorry.
I'm literally just going left to right on who's on my screen. So,
Oh, no.
okay, so the big question. Do you guys feel that Matt Smith is leaving after the 50th anniversary?
Yeah.
All right. Any thoughts on that, Mo?
Well, the reason is to do with money, as I said before. When he signed on the big credit crunch hit, and he, signed on to get paid for £200,000, and the rest of them got $500,000. David Tennant and Christopher Eccleston, and also he's a young kid. He wants to make it in America, as like his friend in Spider-Man. Is it Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man?
Yeah, Andrew Russell Garfield.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Okay.
But
Well,
I just hope he doesn't forget his UK fans when he leaves.
Okay, Ross, what's your thoughts?
I'm very 50-50 on it. I know his contract ends this year, but I don't know. I think he might do one more season, maybe, and then I think he'll leave. Because he's been doing films now anyway for the past 2 years.
Sorry, Ross, can I just say, has he signed a new contract?
Not from what I know now.
Nope. He's
Not
only.
from what I heard.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
He is not signed for 2014 as of yet.
Okay.
Graham, what are your thoughts?
Brian, I'm going to go with a theory you touched upon the other day, mate, and I say you'll get him for half of season 8. Cliffhanger, regeneration, second half later on, 2015, new Doctor.
Okay, yeah, because I think that's a possibility.
Can I just say something quickly?
Sure.
Or you could say, you remember David Tennant when we started to get like one Easter special and that, because he was doing his stage plays, Hamlet and everything. It probably could be a case like that.
Well, I got to interject on that in a little bit, because that wasn't David Tennant's fault.
What do you mean?
Dave Tennant did not sign on to do Hamlet until Russell T. Davies sat down and said that we're only doing 5 specials for this year, and we're going to have such and such a time available. So that whole half-season thing was not Dave Tennant's fault.
He did. Are you sure about that? He did say that, yeah?
Yeah, I read it right out of the writer's tale, which was right out of the mouth of Russell T. Davies.
Well,
Okay.
fair enough. We apologise to Mr. Tennant.
I apologise. David.
Yeah, I did a whole rant video on that called "Don't Blame David Tennant" almost 2 years ago. So yeah, that's how I know.
Have you any of you guys met David Tennant?
Yeah, I have.
I wish I could say I have.
Fella,
yeah, he is absolutely lovely.
He's an grand guy.
He's a lovely fella. I mean, it was the same with no post photographs, but you were allowed to take photographs while he was signing, which was fair enough. But he was a lovely bloke.
Plus, he's an all-around science fiction fan. Go ahead, Graham.
So, no, I'm just about to say, I haven't met David personally, but I've met his father, Sandy. He's a local minister out near and over Bathgate Way. So, that's my claim to fame, guys.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, the only person I've met from Doctor Who was John Levine, who played Sergeant Benton.
Yeah, doesn't he live in America now?
He's living out in California now.
Oh, lucky him.
Yeah, because I haven't met him since 1983, but,
All right. Ross, did you have something to say?
Nope.
I'm sorry, I saw your light blink. Yeah.
Who have you met, Ross?
Pardon?
Who have you met, Ross?
Matt Smith.
Oh, what?
Karen Gillan, Arthur Darvill, David Tennant.
Where's that? Collectomania?
Pardon?
Where was that? Collectomania?
I met David Tennant first in Blackpool, 2007.
Yeah. Oh, well done.
And then Matt Smith in Karen Gillan, 2010.
Yeah, what's Matt Smith like?
He's a lot like David Tennant, actually. He's very laid back, though. And he's very comfortable to engage conversation. We'll talk about anything, though.
All right. Great. Do you know he was signed up for to play for Nottingham Forest, but that's another matter. But there we go. Before he got injured.
Yeah, damn those back injuries,
yeah.
Okay, so now here's another big question. Where do you guys think they're going with the story arc of Clara Oswald?
I think they're going to wrap it up this series.
Okay, you think they're
I
going to
don't
wrap
think
it
she'll
up?
come back after the 50th.
Is she? I mean, how many times does she have to die?
Good question.
Well, to be fair, sorry, Ross, on you go.
Oh, I think she might die a few more times yet.
I mean, you know.
It's like, why doesn't the Doctor just pick up Kenny from South Park? You know?
Do you reckon she's a time lady?
No,
No, I reckon she is, you know.
too simple.
Yeah,
I think she'll be the villain in this series.
it could
Or
be
the-
that. You know, we've brought up the fact she could also have been left out as a trap.
Do you reckon she could kill the Doctor at the end?
Any
Ooh,
thoughts?
possibly, yeah.
I
Yeah,
know.
what do you think, Mike?
Sorry, I missed that.
Do you reckon she could kill the Doctor at the end?
As in that incarnation?
Yeah.
We bit of left field, but I suppose it's plausible.
Well,
That
Stephen
is a
Moffat
scary
is a little
thought.
bit out of left field, isn't he? So, I mean, that's what I would do.
Well, given the fact we know he's used that device before, you know, with throwing out a companion as a trap, it's a possibility. Oh, well. So we're...
No, but I'll tell you what.
We can
She's a good actress, though. She's a lot better than the other one, Karen Gillan.
Oh, yeah, she's brilliant. I have to say that much. Her performance is excellent.
Brian, have you seen her in the TV episode of the Titanic?
I only caught a few brief clips here and there on YouTube, but I haven't seen the whole movie.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Got a lot of time for her.
I haven't seen that
it's an
yet,
actress.
Mo. No.
It's brilliant.
Plus, she was in Captain America for all of like 30 seconds.
You can't beat a cameo.
I don't remember that, to be honest with you, but 30 seconds, I don't remember that. You must have seen it on DVD, but I saw it in the cinemas, so...
Well, she was one of the ladies involved in the double date at the beginning of the movie.
Was that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, at this Dark Expo.
oh
So,
right.
There you go.
yeah,
She'll probably have itchy feet now and leave to America as well.
Well, guys, tell you what, we've been running for a while now here, and I think we've covered a lot of bases. So,
Okay, Brian.
I think we're going to wrap this one up for now. And
Hey, Brian, quickly, I've
sure.
just got to ask, where did you get your Time Lord uniform? I've just got to know.
Oh, you mean the one on my picture?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I wish to God I could say I owned one of those, but I do not. I did that with what do you call it? MS Paint.
You mean you cheated? You cheated?
I can't find anywhere. I've only managed to find some very, very rough diagrams of how to make the Time Lord collar, but the original ones were made out of like fiberglass, and I don't have access to any of that kind of equipment. There is word going around that somewhere online you can actually buy them, already made.
Do you know what, Brian? Do you know what you said about a monster? You can play Omega. Well, that's what I'm telling you. Like, Stephen Moffat, if you've got any sense, see Brian. Fire him.
No, I don't think Moffat likes me anymore.
I'm sure he watches all your videos, mate.
I've been giving him too many headaches.
Yeah, many a sleepless night, Who's that nut on YouTube?
I figure by the end of this year he's going to be bolder than I am. So.
But what do you think, Ross Graham? He looks really terrifying, with the mask and that.
Oh, yeah,
She got
definitely.
Because we know behind the
Chris.
mask he has no face.
Very true, yeah. You go by the 10th anniversary.
I really wish I could be involved in it some way, but like I said, I don't think it's going to happen. I have about as much chance of becoming Omega as Sammy Carter is going to be the 12th Doctor. I have to say that.
Don't get him started, Doc.
Oh, God.
Well, guys,
Have a heart attack with your rant the
Can I
other day.
just say, why is the Doctor? Why do they always cast little kids as the Doctor, man? It's time for someone 45 and plus. It's not fair.
okay, my opinion on it, I seriously doubt we're ever going to see an older Doctor again. The reason why is, A, the younger girls are attracted to that kind of, younger, hotter Doctor, and also it makes him more identifiable with kids.
Yeah, I totally know what you mean, but there we go.
I would say that... Sorry, Ross, on you go.
Moffat was originally going to have an older Doctor, I think.
Yeah, I don't believe him. He's full of balls.
until Matt walked in with his crazy hair.
Yeah.
I think that's what sold it for him.
Yeah.
I can actually see him bringing probably back the same age as David Tennant was. Next Doctor, maybe.
Well, I mean, the problem with that is, Ross, I mean, David Tennant was only in his early 30s when he took the role. I think the oldest you'll ever see an actor playing the Doctor now is probably mid to late 30s, max.
Yeah,
I can't see him going like 40s plus. I can't see that. I can
40
only see
maximum, I'd say,
27.
How old are you, Ross? 21? You're the perfect age, aren't you?
I wish.
There we go. Number 12, Ross. That'll do
There
it.
we go. Well done. Go on. You've even got a Scottish accent like David Tennant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know they were.
Go for it.
I know they had. I know Colin Morgan. A bunch of the people were asking about if he would do it, but here he said no. Now he played Merlin in the Merlin series.
Yeah, but he looks about 12, man.
Why not? They keep getting younger and younger.
Yeah, why not? That's what I said. Yeah.
Come on, man. I'll tell you what. Does anybody remember Colin Salmon from the James Bond movies?
Oh yes, he's on Arrow now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, because I asked him at a sign, I said, why, wasn't you going to play James Bond, to replace Pierce Brosnan? Because he'd been signing the new James Bond for people in autographs, so that's how the rumours started. And then he started to growl at me. And I thought, I'll change it. I said, why don't you try and go for Doctor Who? He started to growl louder. He goes, yeah, but they gave it to little Matt Smith, didn't they? So, Would you have a problem having a black Doctor Who?
I honestly wouldn't. Matter of fact, people have been asking me, would you have a problem with a female Doctor? I'm like, no, as long as it's a good actress.
No.
No problem. That's saying down. No.
As long as they get the right person to do it, I wouldn't see a problem with it.
No, it'd be too silly.
Sorry, Mo.
It'd be too silly for me to have a female Doctor.
Yeah, imagine what kind of outfits they'd have to wear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moffat's right in it. Probably just a short skirt.
I know.
Exactly.
Picture that scene. Doctor, you go distract the guard. What do you mean? I go, oh, that's right. I'm one of these now.
Yeah. And you know what? If the Doctor was female, who we'd get as a Doctor Who?
No.
Sarah Michelle Gellar. I know it. I can see it.
No.
I can see it.
For one, they would never ask her. I can tell you that for a fact. I don't think they'd touch her.
No.
Also,
Just imagine all the sexual references.
Did it just... Sorry? Who's that, Ross?
Yeah, I was going to say, could you imagine all the sexual references if there was a female Doctor?
It's not just that.
Something screwdriver.
Yeah.
Hey, Doctor, what's
Can you
this setting
imagine?
on the screwdriver for? No, we don't discuss that.
Exactly.
Oh dear.
I mean,
Doesn't do
and
much. That.
can you imagine if when she meets the other Doctors, kissing yourself? Weird.
Wow, I got that.
Just a quick one before we finish off, guys. Sorry, Brian. I know your camera's starting to get a little bit pressed for time there.
Sure, go on ahead.
Sorry, Brian. Sorry.
No, go on ahead.
A preferred choice, guys. Just quickly, if it was your choice and your choice alone, who would be the 12th Doctor?
Oh, that is such a difficult question because they've been asking so many, qualified. I know Dominic Monaghan was recently asked, and I was like, okay, he's a little bit too baby-faced, but
Right.
I don't know. I could see him doing it. And also, Bill Nye was in the running, and
Yeah.
he was turned down. And I would have.
Do you know?
Sure,
Sorry?
go ahead, Mo.
Do you know? Because I've forgotten his name now. I had it as who was the one in where they're based in Sheffield and they have a striptease in that film.
For Monty.
For Monty. Who was the lead? The Scottish guy. He's a Scottish actor, isn't he?
I
Bloody
know
hell.
who you mean. I can't remember his name.
And he was in that drug
Somebody
movie.
go to Wikipedia. That's going to drive me nuts all day, man.
Oh,
Oh, God.
him. I wanted him to be Doctor Who. Do you know what I mean, Brian?
I think so, but it's been a long time since I've seen the full Monty.
Yeah.
And he was in that junkie movie. What's it called?
Train spotting.
Train Spotting. Yeah. Him. Or Dexter
Robert
Fletcher.
Carlyle, Ian
Yeah,
McGregor.
Robert Carlyle, yeah.
Yeah.
Or, just to be funny, Dexter Fletcher.
Dexter Fletcher, yeah.
Or Ewan
Yeah.
McGregor, but like I said, then you're talking a big price tag they ain't gonna pay.
The game's
Yeah, but
master. Yeah.
what's he done? What's he done recently? I don't think he's been working regularly, is he?
Ewan McGregor, he just got done doing the Star Wars prequels.
No, not Ewan McGregor.
No, he's talking about someone else, right?
Oh,
I
sorry.
was about Carlyle, Robert Carlyle.
Oh, heck, I can't think of
What was
it.
that TV show he used to do? Was it Hamish Macbeth?
Whoa, what was that, Ross?
Sorry, Ross.
I'm trying to think of the TV show he recently did. I think it's called like Once Upon a Time, maybe.
Oh, right.
It's like a fairy tale sort of film. I think a TV show, I mean.
Yeah, but he hasn't done a big movie, has he?
Now you're going to make me smack my head because the guy that got playing Rumpelstiltskin in that series would be perfect. He was also in Stargate Universe.
Oh.
But he would make an excellent doctor. But like I said, I don't think they're going to angle towards an older doctor again.
No. 40 maximum for me, guys.
Yeah. I know could make a great master or a great Davros.
Who?
Keith Richards. Now
he'd have to be a vampire because he's definitely one of the undead.
Yeah, but he
He
wouldn't need makeup for Davros, though.
As long as it's not Mick Jagger, because I've seen his acting.
Oh, you haven't seen Pirates of the Caribbean?
I don't know, man.
I know, yeah. Let's remember such great hits such as Free Jack. You know.
Oh, that's great. Proceed.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Madness.
But if they want to cut money, cutting back on makeup, you wouldn't need any makeup for Davros for Keith Richards, though, would it?
No, probably not.
You just have to fit him into that wee chair, wouldn't you? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, that would be an interesting choice.
That would be. But anyway, I hope they get someone good to be in all seriousness,
Yeah. That's the main thing.
Yes, that's the main thing.
I mean, to be honest with you, when they cast Matt Smith, I said, "Oh no, he won't be able to act." But he has pleasantly surprised me.
Judging the book by its cover again, Mo.
Sorry?
Judging the book by its cover again. Dangerous game.
Exactly, but, can I be blamed? But he has proved me wrong so much. You know what I mean? With the Duff scripts that he's been given, he's carried the show. And to be honest with you, although everybody's going to hate me for saying it, a lot better than David Tennant, to be honest with you. I think as an actor, I think Matt Smith is 10 out of 10. It kind of reminds me of Patrick Troughton towards his end. His story's got a little bit bad, but when you've got a good actor like Patrick Troughton and Matt Smith, they can, carry the show. And that's what, unfortunately, I think Matt Smith's doing now, is carrying the show. If it wasn't for him, if it was any other actor, I think it would have been, dare I say it, cancelled or already got the sack quite quickly. So,
Ross,
anyway, Brian?
Ross, did you have something to say?
I was going to say, do you guys remember when Matt Smith was announced and everyone was raving about it on the internet, how we didn't have an email for a doctor?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember that. I remember everyone was going off saying, "Oh no, we've got an emo doctor." I think he's far from emo doctor.
What's an email doctor? What do you mean?
Emotional, like an emotional doctor.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now, my first impression of Matt Smith, when I saw his pictures and then I saw his clips for his interviews, oh my God, who is this, Young Frankenstein? But then, because of the shape of his head, the way he had his hair, and then after 11th hour, usually it takes me at least a good couple of episodes to warm up to a new Doctor. And with Matt Smith, he had me right away, by the end of the 11th hour. He really just grabbed me.
Yeah. Fantastic.
The guy in the sky, notwithstanding.
Yeah, I don't know why. I like the Atraxi. I thought it was something different.
Different.
But brilliant. It was just such a disappointment, the episode afterwards, really. But,
The Beast Below wasn't the best, no.
Well, at least we
Got it.
didn't. Yeah, at least so far we haven't seen another Love and Monsters or
Oh dear God.
Oh dear
Don't do that
God.
yet.
or
And
Fear Her.
what's the pirate one? What's the pirate one?
Oh, Curse of the Black Spot.
Yeah.
Oh God, what's all that, man? Oh yeah, can you tell me? Yeah, why can't people stay dead?
Now I've brought this up. I've brought this up repeatedly. Why does Moffat keep reviving everybody? It takes all the drama and seriousness out of a character's death.
Yeah.
I mean,
And sorry.
Mo,
Sorry.
go.
Well, but basically, there's a crucial episode as well. You know the Lion Witch and the Wardrobe episode. I got
Yeah.
this top.
The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah. And you know when the father supposedly died in World War II and whatever, and he brings him back. I thought actually that was the wrong thing to do. I think children should be taught not to be afraid of death, because that's what's going to happen. Say, for instance, the soldiers of people that are fighting in like Iraq and Afghanistan that probably aren't going to come back. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're probably saying, "Daddy, why can't it? Why can't they come back like in this show?" You know what I mean? So I thought, so.
That's a fair point, Mo. The only thing against that I would have was basically, well, number one, it's a light-hearted adventure because it's a festive one. And number two, I could see that point of view if it was made clear that the father had actually died, and technically he just vanished.
Well,
so that was always the loophole to escape that plot device.
Yeah, but we know the seriousness of the Second World War.
No, I totally agree with you in that respect. Yeah.
And it was. I just thought, they could have ended it nice. You know what I mean? Rather than, bring it back. But there we go.
End it nice, yeah. Children, your father's dead. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what I mean. But I just thought that's what upset me about that.
But it is getting to the point that it's getting a bit silly that everybody, it cannot stay dead.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I liked. Sorry, that's why I liked about the Christopher Eccleston series. Is everything dies, nothing lasts forever. But Stephen Moffat, that quote, turns upside down, really, doesn't it?
I mean, I alluded to this very subject in one of my videos last week. I mean, if we take one-off companions out of the picture, we ain't had a legit death since Adric with Earthshock back in '83.
Wow. Are you sure?
Well, there have been a few side characters who've died in that time.
Yeah.
One-offs. There's been plenty of one-offs, but, in terms of a legit companion, I'm pretty sure Adric was the last.
I still think Perry was the last, to be honest with you. I'm not joking. I don't care. I think she died.
No, according to the DVD I've got, and believe me, Nicola Bryant wasn't too chuffed to it when I heard the DVD extras.
Mind you, I haven't seen it since since it aired originally, so
Yeah.
Now Perry's death, that brings up an interesting question we can wrap up on. The Valyard.
Yeah.
You all know who the Valyard is. He's an amalgamation of the dark side of the Doctor from beyond his 12th generation.
Yes.
Do you think we're going to see him?
Do you know what? Do you know who got me excited about the Valyard? And I don't know why I listened to the guy, because he's a bit of an idiot, and that's the Scribe. He got me hyped up about that on his thing.
Harshmo?
And I got so subscribed about the Valyard's coming. Do you know what? I don't think it's going to happen.
All right. Anyone else?
I agree. I want to see the Valyard. I want to see that darker side to the Doctor. Like the Dream World was, I want to see that side. Because I think the perfect match for the Doctor would be himself. And I think that's who he feels the most.
Graham?
I wouldn't mind seeing him back, guys. The only issue I've got is what you alluded to, Brian, a few months back, I believe. I don't want another Patrick Duffy scenario where it's all just a dream.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was a great episode, wasn't it?
The thing is, I keep telling these guys, it cannot all be... For one, the Matrix was on Gallifrey, and Gallifrey's back in the time lock. Yeah. Also, if it's all happening in the Matrix, that means, oh, guess what? Angels Take Manhattan didn't ever happen. Which means you never got rid of Rory and Amy, because if you've been in the Matrix since then, oh, it's just ridiculous. And I even had a guy who approached me saying all of Series 6 was a dream. So I keep hearing that over and over and over, and I'm like, well, what's going to happen? The Doctor's going to wake up, and Patrick Duffy's in the shower,
Yeah.
No, but I'll tell you what, the Valeyard story would have been absolutely brilliant. But
I will give you this much hope. Remember the speech from the Pandorica Opens.
Yeah.
All signs and evidence point to the fact that the Doctor destroys the universe.
yeah.
Exactly.
Even
So,
the Daleks say as well that only the Doctor can pilot the TARDIS.
Do you think that'll probably wrap up the 50th then?
Definitely.
who knows? I'm still leaving that wide open. I'd love to see Omega, but at the same time, if it's the Valeyard, that would justify bringing back all the previous Doctors.
Do you know what? If it is the Valeyard, it'd be great. But I've got a funny feeling. If it was Russell T Davies, I'll believe him. But because it's Stephen Moffat, he's such full of...
That's one thing I've brought up. When RTD was lying to you, it's because he had something fantastic waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
But when
And also,
Moffat,
it's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek, wasn't it? A little bit. So.
yeah. But when Moffat lies to you more than half the time, it ends up in disappointment.
Yeah.
Like my favorite one I keep referencing. Remember all the big hype with Asylum of the Daleks. We're bringing back every Dalek that's ever been on screen. Yeah, and where'd you actually see them? Off in the background or sitting there like a dumb crap doing absolutely nothing. So, and then, you had that big scene in Critical Care where she's reading off, all the planets from the classic series.
Yeah.
These Daleks are the ones she's faced.
Yeah.
And then they turned out to be all Russell T Davies Daleks.
Yeah, exactly. That's... Oh...
I was fuming.
He's an idiot. He's an idiot. I mean, oh my God. And you wasted so much material on that. That could have been brilliant.
Exactly.
I mean,
for all the amount you saw those classic Daleks, you might as well have just put cardboard cutouts off in the background.
You know what? You could have had Dad Ross in that scene as well.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah. I remember viewing that and being totally pissed because I was so waiting for the Daleks from, Day of the Daleks or whatnot to pop up, and nothing ever transpired. I was absolutely pissed for that, I'll tell you.
I would love to see the special weapons Dalek do some damage.
Oh, that's what I was looking forward to, was the special weapons Dalek, yeah.
So have you noticed that seems to be more powerful than the modern day Daleks?
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Including the Teletubby ones.
Yeah, it was meant to be like a Dalek tank. It could take out 2 or 3 Daleks at a time.
Yeah, that would have been great. That would have been fantastic.
Well, guys, tell you what, we have been ranting on for a while now.
I think we better give you a camera rest, Brian.
Yeah, so I think we're going to bring this to a wrap. We covered a lot of good subjects, and like I said, we're all looking forward to the 50th anniversary. And
Yep.
I think we're going to leave off on that note. And I want to thank each and every one of you coming aboard. Hats off to you all. It was glad to have you on board.
That was a pleasure, sir.
Okay, so take it easy, guys, and hopefully we'll have more good news for you in the coming days.
Yeah.
Look forward to it, buddy.
All right, take it easy.
And nice to meet you, Ross. Nice to meet you, Graham.
Till next time, guys. Good to meet you.
And I hope it wasn't too rubbish. I hope I wasn't too rubbish.
Ah, you're fine, mate. You're in the same time zone as me.
Well, good night.
Get some sleep. Got to be up at 7.
All the best, guys.
I'm going to cut it right here. So good night, gentlemen.
See ya.
Good night, man.
Bye.